For decades, fans have wondered what truly happened behind the scenes of The Bodyguard, the film that forever linked Kevin Costner and Whitney Houston in Hollywood history. Their chemistry was electric, their bond unmistakable, and their respect for each other went far beyond what cameras ever captured. Yet Kevin Costner stayed silent for years, guarding the memories they shared with the same protectiveness his character showed on screen. But now, at 70, he finally breaks that silence. Costner has revealed the truth, not scandal. Not rumor, but something far more powerful and far more human. After years of carrying the weight of unspoken stories, he has chosen to speak from the heart about Whitney. Her courage, her vulnerability, her laughter, and the quiet moments the world never saw. He opens up about the promise he made to her, the comfort he tried to offer during her darkest days, and the way her talent left him in awe long after filming ended. His confession is not a revelation of secrets, but a tribute deep, emotional, and long overdue. It reshapes how the world understands their connection and paints a portrait of Whitney that only someone who truly knew her could describe. For the first time, we hear Kevin Costner's truth. And it changes everything. The story of The Bodyguard has always been about love, protection, and the delicate balance between public persona and private emotion. On screen, Kevin Costner and Whitney Houston created a connection that felt effortless, believable, and timeless. But behind the cameras, their relationship was more than just professional. It was built on mutual respect, quiet admiration, and an understanding that went far beyond Hollywood scripts. Kevin Costner has always been a private man. Over the decades, he rarely spoke about Whitney Houston except in brief, courteous interviews, and he never allowed the media to speculate about their connection. The world saw a star-studded romance unfold in fictional terms, but the truth was far more nuanced. For Costner, Whitney was not just a co-star, she was a person he deeply cared for. Someone whose life and struggles he observed with empathy and concern. At 70, he finally decided to break his silence. Speaking candidly for the first time, Costner reflects on the moments that defined their bond, the laughter between takes, the long rehearsals filled with quiet conversation, the shared understanding of the pressures that come with fame. Whitney Houston was larger than life on stage and screen, but off-camera she was human, vulnerable, sensitive, and often carrying burdens that few understood. He recalls a particular scene in the film that, on the surface, seemed simple, almost routine. Yet, in that moment, he says, there was an unspoken intimacy, a quiet awareness of each other's presence. They didn't need dialogue to convey understanding. A glance, a gesture, a shared silence carried more weight than any script. Costner says that this connection wasn't about romance or theatrics, it was about trust, respect, and the unspoken promise to support one another in a world that constantly demanded more than either could give. Costner also speaks about the challenges Whitney faced during and after filming. Fame, he explains, can be isolating. The adoration of millions often comes at the cost of privacy, leaving those who are admired in a vulnerable position. Whitney's immense talent brought her worldwide acclaim, but it also exposed her to scrutiny and pressure that few could comprehend. Costner admits he witnessed firsthand the way she struggled with these pressures, and he often wished he could do more to help. More to shield her from the public gaze that could be both loving and ruthless. The note that he always kept in his own memory and internal record of what he observed, felt, and understood about Whitney serves as the foundation for his reflections now. It is not a list of scandals or secrets. It is an acknowledgement of humanity, a tribute to someone he admired, and a reckoning with the reality that their bond, profound and respectful, was never meant for public consumption. He remembers their conversations, the moments of levity that broke through the intensity of long days, and the small, everyday gestures that revealed the depth of her character. Whitney could light up a room with her voice, but she could also offer warmth in ways that were quiet and subtle. Moments that few noticed, but Costner never forgot. Those moments, he says, defined his memories of her far more than headlines or gossip ever could. By breaking his long-held silence, Kevin Costner provides the world with a rare, intimate glimpse into Whitney Houston as he knew her, a woman of extraordinary talent, remarkable sensitivity, and profound humanity. His account does not sensationalize. It honors. It reframes what we thought we knew, offering a perspective that celebrates her life while acknowledging the pressures that accompanied her extraordinary career. For the first time, fans are invited to see the story of The Bodyguard not only as a cinematic achievement, but as a testament to a bond built on trust, empathy, and mutual respect and understanding that only Kevin Costner could fully articulate. Kevin Costner recalls the long hours on set as both grueling and transformative. Filming The Bodyguard was not merely an exercise in acting. It was a test of patience, endurance, and emotional depth. Every scene demanded authenticity. Every shot required precision, and Whitney Houston's commitment to her craft was nothing short of extraordinary. Yet, behind the unwavering professionalism, Costner noticed subtle signs of the personal battles she faced, a quiet fatigue in her eyes, a hesitancy that hinted at unspoken struggles. Moments when laughter masked deeper tension. He remembers the day after a particularly intense rehearsal when Whitney confided in him about the weight of fame. It wasn't just the audience's expectations or the media glare. It was the pressure to maintain perfection in every note, every gesture, every public appearance. She was carrying so much, Costner says. Not just her career, but the expectations, the fear, the doubt. And she carried it with grace, even when it must have felt unbearable. He recalls sitting in silence with her, offering quiet support, understanding that no advice or solution could erase the pressures she faced. Sometimes, just being present was the most important thing. Costner also speaks about the delicate balance of trust they developed on set. Their characters demanded a connection that felt natural, unforced, yet they could only achieve it through genuine respect and emotional honesty off camera. Costner observed Whitney's generosity toward her co-stars and crew, how she encouraged those around her while silently carrying her own burdens. He notes that her charisma was genuine, not performative. Her ability to lift others was as remarkable as her vocal talent. There were moments of levity as well. During breaks in filming, they would share small jokes or anecdotes from their personal lives, carefully choosing what to reveal and what to keep private. Costner reflects on these exchanges as precious glimpses into her humanity, her humor, her kindness, her vulnerability, moments that never made the press but stayed vividly alive in his memory. These were the fragments of life that the cameras couldn't capture, the glimpses of the woman beyond the superstar. But Costner does not shy away from acknowledging the challenges. Whitney's personal struggles occasionally surfaced during production, subtle enough to be missed by anyone not paying close attention. Costner describes feeling conflicted, wanting to help, knowing he could not solve her problems, and yet feeling responsible in some small way as her co-star and friend. There was a constant tension between admiration and helplessness, between respect for her independence and the desire to shield her from the pressures crushing her. Through it all, the bond between them remained rooted in trust. Costner emphasizes that their connection was never romantic. It was grounded in mutual respect, understanding, and the shared experience of navigating an environment that could be both exhilarating and punishing. He often acted as a silent witness, supporting Whitney by simply acknowledging her struggles and accomplishments without judgment or intrusion. It was this quiet solidarity that he now calls the most meaningful part of their relationship. Reflecting on those days decades later, Costner realizes how much their shared experiences shaped his perception of fame, talent, and resilience. Whitney Houston was more than an icon. She was a woman navigating immense pressures, balancing extraordinary talent with personal vulnerability, and inspiring those around her even while carrying burdens they could not see. For Costner, being there, quietly supporting and observing, gave him a profound understanding of the strength it takes to shine in a world that demands perfection. In telling this part of the story for the first time, Costner offers fans a perspective they have never had, a glimpse into the humanity behind the legend, the tenderness beneath the brilliance, and the quiet moments that defined their connection. It is not a story of scandal or controversy, but one of empathy, respect, and the enduring impact of witnessing greatness up close, while honoring the person behind it. Kevin Costner remembers the nights after filming, when the set lights had dimmed and the world outside seemed miles away. It was during these rare, quiet moments that the depth of Whitney Houston's humanity revealed itself. Away from the cameras, away from the bright lights and the ever-watchful public eye, She was not the untouchable superstar the world adored. She was a woman carrying the weight of immense expectations, while striving to maintain her own sense of. Costner recalls sitting with her in one of the empty sound stages. Yet Costner does not shy away from the truth. He saw the struggles that haunted her. He witnessed her resilience as she battled the pressures of public expectation, the loneliness that came with fame, and the personal challenges that she kept private. He describes it as a balancing act of immense strength, to shine so brilliantly in the public eye, while grappling with private fears and insecurities that few could comprehend. What stands out most in his reflections is the profound empathy he felt for Whitney. He understood the isolation of her experience, the weight of being admired yet misunderstood, celebrated yet scrutinized. And through it all, he offered a quiet presence, a witness, a friend, someone who valued her as a person, not just a superstar. By sharing these memories, Kevin Costner allows the world to see Whitney Houston as he did, a woman of immense talent, deep vulnerability, and unwavering kindness. The story reframes her legacy, highlighting not only her brilliance on stage and screen, but also the humanity, humor, and courage that defined her private life. For those who have always loved her, his account provides a rare, intimate glimpse into the moments that truly mattered, the moments beyond the headlines, beyond the applause, where the real Whitney existed. In telling this story for the first time, Costner honors her life, her struggles, and the quiet courage that allowed her to shine. Even when the world could not see the battles she fought behind the scenes, the story of Whitney Houston, as Kevin Costner tells it, is not only about talent and fame, it is about resilience, humanity, and the quiet struggles that defined her life beyond the spotlight. As he reflects on their time together during The Bodyguard, he emphasizes that the most meaningful moments were rarely captured by cameras or recounted in tabloids. They were the small gestures, the private conversations, and the shared silences that revealed the true Whitney Houston, a woman of extraordinary ability, immense generosity, and deep vulnerability. Costner recalls watching her perform in private rehearsals, seeing the meticulous care she put into every note, every breath, and every movement. Her dedication was unmatched, but it came at a personal cost. Behind the voice that could fill arenas with awe-inspiring power was a woman managing pressure, fatigue, and expectations that no one else could fully understand. He admired her not only for her talent, but for the grace and courage with which she faced the immense demands of her profession. He also reflects on the emotional depth she revealed in off-camera moments that were fleeting yet unforgettable. A smile shared after a long day, a candid conversation about life, a quiet laugh in the midst of chaos. These were glimpses of a person far more complex and relatable than the superstar everyone adored. Costner explains that it was these intimate moments that forged their bond, built on trust, respect, and a shared understanding of what it means to be human in a world that expects perfection. Whitney's struggles, which the public only partially glimpsed, were never a measure of weakness in Costner's eyes. He describes them instead as a testament to her courage. To navigate fame while maintaining authenticity, to give your all to the world despite private pain, requires a strength that few can comprehend. Costner acknowledges that he could not shield her from every difficulty, but he tried to be present in whatever ways he could, offering empathy, listening without judgment, and providing support when it was needed most. In revealing these experiences for the first time, Costner paints a portrait of Whitney that challenges simplistic narratives. She was not defined by the struggles she endured or the tragedies that followed her public life. She was defined by her talent, her compassion, and her ability to inspire those around her. Through his eyes, she becomes more than an icon. She becomes profoundly human, a woman whose brilliance radiated despite adversity. Costner also shares the personal impact of witnessing Whitney in this light. He speaks of lessons learned, the importance of empathy, the value of presence, and the recognition that supporting someone often means simply acknowledging their humanity rather than trying to fix it. Watching her navigate life with courage and vulnerability left an enduring impression on him, shaping how he relates to others and how he appreciates the fragility and resilience inherent in every human being. By breaking his long-held silence, Costner invites the world to see Whitney Houston in a new way. He does not seek accolades, nor does he aim to rewrite history. He seeks only to honor her memory, to acknowledge her struggles, and to share the truth of what it was like to witness her brilliance up close. His words provide clarity, context, and, most importantly, compassion, a rare and honest perspective on a life lived under the most intense public scrutiny imaginable. Ultimately, this is a story of connection. It is about the trust that forms between two people who share a common space and mutual respect. About the power of understanding someone beyond the persona the world perceives. And about the enduring impact of witnessing greatness tempered by humanity. Through Kevin Costner's reflections, Whitney Houston's life is remembered not only for the voice that captivated millions but also for the heart, strength, and vulnerability that defined her as a person. Her legacy, as he conveys, is more than music. It is the resilience, warmth, and courage she showed behind the scenes, a reminder that even icons are human, and even in moments of quiet struggle, they leave an indelible mark on those who truly see them.